1/3 of voters have already cast their ballots in the 2024 election. As of Monday, the Associated Press tally showed roughly 82 million early votes cast. That's slightly more than half of the total number of votes in the 2020 presidential election.
Democrats historically have had an advantage in the early vote, but former President Trump and the Republican National Committee called on GOP voters to counter that this year.
We have our team out across the region ready to get those results in Illinois to you the moment we have them. We have our Carson Gordy in Champaign. Our Spencer Davis is watching key Sangamon County races.
And Carolina Hassett is keeping an eye on those statewide races and ballot initiatives. We'll touch base with them in just a few minutes.
And issues with Champaign County voting machines made officials propose solutions.
News Channel 20's Carson Gordy joins us live in Urbana with what voters need to know. Carson?
Earlier today, Champaign County had technical issues that kept voting systems down and prevented people from voting. The issue did get fixed earlier today, but the county clerk, Aaron Amons, and his office tried to extend voting to 9 p.m., but that measure did not go through. So if you are a Champaign County voter, you need to be in line by 7 p.m. if you want to be able to cast a ballot in this year's election. And I spoke to one man at the Lincoln Square Mall in Urbana. He told me that he didn't vote earlier this morning because he heard of the issues going around in Champaign County. He said after his work shift, he was going to try to go to a location and cast his ballot. And in Champaign County, you can vote at any location that offers voting. You are not designated to just one area. In Urbana, I'm Carson Gordy. Back to you.
Thank you, Carson. At 6 o'clock, he'll have a breakdown of the biggest races in Champaign. Voters in Champaign have been voting on a sales tax proposition. The tax would go toward public safety purposes, and then the increase in the share on the local sales tax by 1%, 1/4%, and we'll bring you updates on that race as soon as the polls close.
Continuing our team coverage now in Sangamon County, voters have been making their voices heard on the circuit clerk, recorder, state's attorney, and many county board seats. But with all that rain, our Spencer Davis has more on if it's affected voter turnout. Spencer?
Thanks, Stacey. I spoke to Sangamon County Clerk Don Gray just a bit ago, and he says turnout has been steady throughout the day, despite the weather. Earlier this morning, same-day registering voters may have faced, quote, a minor inconvenience, according to Gray. He tells me there have been no issues with any of their equipment this afternoon, and the process is running smoothly. Gray also says the state-level precinct who oversees the ballot is very pleased with the turnout so far. Polls close at 7 tonight, so once we hit that time, we'll start to see some of those numbers come in. Reporting in studio, I'm Spencer Davis.
All right, thanks for that update, Spencer. Now you can see those updates as they come in on our website, newschannel20.com. Now we spoke to Sangamon County Clerk earlier today to discuss the early voting numbers he saw across the county. There were a total of 38,270 ballots cast. That's 27% of registered voters in the county. The clerk's office is predicting to see about 36% of likely voter turnout, and they haven't reported any issues at the polling locations.
We're turning toward one of the races we'll be watching in Macon County. The current county coroner, Michael Day, retired from the position. Michael Burkham and Tiffany Hall are challenging each other for the position. We're also watching a tax proposition in Piatt County. The question on the ballot is, shall Piatt County levy an annual tax not to exceed no more than 0.15% for the purpose of providing community mental health facilities and services, including facilities and services for persons with a developmental disability or a substance use disorder.
Continuing our team coverage on elections tonight, Illinois has some key races they're keeping an eye on this year, as well as key issues discussed on the ballot.
News Channel 20's Carolina Hassett breaks down what we can expect in our statewide races.
That's right. While the state of Illinois has been pretty predictable in past years when it comes to the presidential race, Illinoisans still keeping an eye on some of those key races this year. Now, there's 3 U.S. representative races this year. Now, some big ones include Democrat Brian Roberts versus Republican Mike Boston in the race for District 12. Another big one, Democrat Nikki Budzinski versus Republican Joshua Lloyd for District 13. There are also 4 state representative races as well as 1 state senator race. Also, Also on the ballot, there are 3 advisory questions having to do with civil penalties when it comes to interference of election workers' official duties, property tax relief, as well as in vitro fertilization being covered by health insurance. Now, if you haven't voted yet, there's still time. Polls close at 7 p.m. We're going to continue to bring you updates throughout the night on these races on News Channel 20. For now, we're going to send it back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Carolina. Coming up tonight at 6, Illinois is seeing a huge increase in voter turnout this year. We break down the updated numbers from the Illinois State Board of Elections.
Thanks for watching. Stick around by subscribing today and don't miss a single video.